Hello, Dr. Roshan.
Hello, namaste.
Namaste, and thank you so much for making the time to have this conversation together. I think it will be very, very useful for many people, especially in like how fast the world is moving. So many people are struggling with their physical health, mental health, and so thank you for this time.
Thank you again for coming and meeting.
Of course,
I was really excited to meet you.
Yeah, actually, I met Dr. Roshan in Nepal a few years ago, and then I found out he was going to be in Bali. I live around Ubud area, so we drove about 4 hours to see you, and it was really good decision. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well.
I know that many people Ayurveda is a new concept, meaning that maybe they've either heard of it but just on a surface level, or when they think of it, they think of it as like, oh, just herbalism. But so what is really Ayurveda at its essence?
Yes, like here also when we were doing the retreat, like Ayurveda, isn't it like massage? So yeah, many people has the concept Ayurveda as Ayurveda massage or some herb. But Ayurveda, the word itself in Sanskrit means life knowledge. It's a knowledge of life. So actually, it's about everything about life, different component of life, how to be happy, how to be healthy. So Ayurveda covers literally every aspect of life, right from when we begin the day, what to eat, what to do, how to best do different work at best time, be more productive, be more healthy, be more happy, and until the last like before we sleep, there are all these rituals, and not just that, every season. So Ayurveda is very, very broad, and knowingly or unknowingly, many people are actually following Ayurveda. Maybe they are doing a little bit wrong something, but we do wake up, we do sleep, so that part of life is Ayurveda. It gives a good direction when we know about it.
And then what is the difference between Ayurvedic doctor and, like, let's say Ayurvedic blogger? Because I think this question is important because now since YouTube is so popular, sometimes people travel and they take one course here, one course there, and then they share about Ayurveda. So what do you think is the difference between like what the value you can receive from a trained doctor and just a person who is learning on YouTube and learning from one course here and one course there?
Okay, so this is very interesting. Like the father of Ayurveda, or let's say Ayurveda was practiced 5,000, 10,000 years back. Those people who wrote the great textbook of Ayurveda, like they have written about different surgical application, different medicine, amazing healing techniques. But if they really come right now and they practice, I think people will sue them. Although they are amazing, see, the time has changed. Now what we need is like registered like councils or something. So as there is an advancement of civilization and all, the knowledge was from there. But as an Ayurveda doctor, now what they teach you is also the research-based methodologies. They teach you anatomy, physiology. Side by side, what we actually do is again the Ayurveda, but to get registered or to make what modern people understand, like evidence-based science, now they do Ayurveda course. One of the course that I did was also to get aligned with what people already believe in the modern society. Now people will not believe like if you just say, you need to prove. So to learn all these proving technique, to learn all these modern terminologies, to learn all these effects and side effects of the medicines and how to best use the herb, you need a trained professional Ayurveda doctors. But this does not mean who practice by themselves, who have learned being into the nature are wrong. They can be even better one with their experience, but modern day they want someone registers. That's why I also spent like 5.5 years just to get the certificate. But in fact, the real Ayurveda is within us. We just have to observe everything mindfully.
It was so interesting because the other day you did a consultation for my sister, and she had she gave me permission to share this, by the way. So she was gaining weight, and we found out that it's actually the Vata that is high. And I'm thinking if she went like the traditional medicine route, they would probably
Kapha,
tell her to lose weight and eat less. And so I really love like the nuances that you're able to
Exactly.
share
So
with
when
us.
you understand more in detail, sometimes what it is seen may not be exactly that. There might be a background story, there might be something else behind. So we need to identify the real cause. The real cause, if we identify, then the solution is very simple. The most people, they struggle with finding the diagnosis, what is the cause.
Yes. Yes, I agree. And okay, so one of the personal questions that I have been trying to reflect on, I understand that Ayurveda is very connected to the elements, the five elements:
Yes.
fire, earth, water, ether.
And
And
wind.
I'm just wondering, how is this possible practically? Like, what does fire look like in the body, air look like in the body, earth look like in the body?
Okay, so not just Ayurveda. If you see any Vedic text, whether it is yoga, meditation, the gestures like mudras, they always talk with a reference of five elements. The real reason why they use this is, see, this science was like 5-10,000 years back. So there's one idea in Veda, like if people don't know something, always link it to the things that they already know. So like 10,000 years back, you need to compare with something that everyone knows. So we need to definitely choose something very simple into the nature. This is actually metaphor. So what is the simplest thing in the nature? Something that is there forever. Earth, water, fire, wind and sky. And why in this exact order? You can either do reverse or this order, because earth is something that you can touch, feel, see, everything. Like you can manipulate, there's like different shape and its own shape. Then when you jump from earth to the water, now there is no form, like any container that you put, that's the shape. But still you can touch and feel. Now when you jump from water to the fire, then there is no shape. You can only feel, you can see. And when you jump from fire to the wind, now you cannot even see. There's only the feeling, wind, touch. Now when you jump from the wind to the space, you cannot do anything. I mean, there is there, but you cannot feel, you cannot see. So it's the spectrum, like, okay, everything to nothing. And Ayurveda explains everything in the universe has everything to nothing. It's like a spectrum where anything that you want to explain now, you give the metaphoric reference. Okay, this is more like earth. More like earth means more gross. More like space means more subtle. There is subtle mind, there's gross body. So everything is in between that subtle mind and the gross body. So it's a metaphor. But this metaphor can be explained in many ways, like to make anyone understand from their knowledge, whoever knows whatever thing. So from that knowledge, we link it. Like someone knows the basic anatomy, we say earth is like bone and solid structure. Water is all those blood inside. Fire is all those enzymes and hormones. Space is all those movement, the nerve conduction, the wind, sorry. And the space is all those hollow spaces, sinuses. Or we can compare in other simple versions. So this is just the representative.
Okay, this is so interesting that essentially what I'm hearing you say is we needed a way to express this in a way that could be understandable for everyone.
Yes.
So like when we say, okay, someone is Pitta or
Yes.
fire in
Yes.
nature, what does that mean? Like how does it manifest in their body?
Okay.
Or for example, maybe I can speak about myself.
Okay.
You just check my pulse. I'm Vata, Pitta, and
Yes.
my Vata is high.
High, yes.
So what does that mean for my body? Like the element, I get that it means that the element of,
Yes.
of wind and air is higher, but I'm trying to get like the nuance of like how does that manifest?
They, like, okay, so everything has five elements. We are there. Sarvam, Dravyam, Panchamahabhautikam. That's like typical Sanskrit verse that they say everything has five elements. Now, the real problem came when if everyone is five elemental, then why everyone is different? Now, this question actually came. If everyone is same, there must be same food and same lifestyle, and for the same thing, everyone would react in the same way. It's like a robot. Everyone just say command, run, run. But that does not happen in the real life. So there is something. So what is that thing that makes everyone unique? Now this question, the answer of this question that they thought in Ayurveda, oh, actually everyone has five elements, but they have different ratio of five elements. Now these different ratio will reflect in a different way. But even food has five elements, non-living things like wood has five elements, everything is, this microphone has five elements. What is the difference in a human and then the non-living thing? Then they said these five elements represents as three energies, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata, Pitta, Kapha only in the human living person. Five elements, everything. Now we jump into Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Now the moment we jump into the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, there is also the emotion, there is a living body, there's like many other things that non-living body doesn't have. So basically in terms of person, whenever we talk, we always say Vata, Pitta, Kapha, not five elements now, because we are not talking about non-living things. Now, the Vata that I said is actually the representation of the subtler energies, more like space and the wind. So you get all those qualities when your nature by birth is high with the Vata energy, you get all those qualities like wind and the space. So that means like quick mind, quick memory, quick physically, passionate about different things, active. And what does it mean by imbalance? Now, when you encounter the food and lifestyle that increase any of those elements, in your case, right now your Vata is high because you encounter with wind and the space activities. That could be traveling a lot, that could be your bad sleep, that could be lots of noise, that could be lots of thought, maybe you want to do many things. I don't know, it can be food, it can be lifestyle. Now that quick energy now does not come in a productive way, and there is an imbalance. The quick mind turns into stress, quick memory now forget easily. Who was active and passionate about different things now gets bored easily. So this is how it again comes in a negative way when the ratio that you were designed, your body or as a living you was designed, changes because of the wrong food or lifestyle or season or with age. So that's what Ayurveda always guide us.
Yeah, so this means that there isn't like one dosha or body type that is good or bad. Just
no,
each has their capacity to,
Exactly.
when it's in balance, to function a certain way, and when it's out of balance, it functions a certain way. So what is like a Vata, Pitta, Kapha at its best? Like how would they look?
Like for Vata, as I've already said, when they are at best, they are always creative and active, passionate. When Pitta is at best, it's fire and water, like a steam. Sharp mind, logical, critical,
That's my husband.
good sense of judgment, organized, perfectionist. This is the Pitta nature at best. And when Kapha is at best, they are calm, they can hold everything, they have lots of energy, they are never out of energy, they can store everything, even emotion, they can be good counselor. The moment you meet someone like Kapha, even you are stressed, you already feel relaxed. So these are best. And people also have combination of one and the other.
And then is it possible to be, I don't know, to find perfect harmony within the elements, or our whole life is essentially spent managing them?
Yes, even the definition of sharir, like our body is called sharir. Actually, in Sanskrit, sharir means siryate iti sharir. Something that destructs all the time is sharir. This is like funny definition. We think like we are best, but in fact, our body is getting old every time. So it's in like no one can be like immortal. So yes, the difficulty will definitely come. But now what Ayurveda says is like, at least when we perform our right duty, that right duty we should perform in our best. So Ayurveda guides us to be best, not perfect. There's nothing called perfect. This moment also, as I am talking, my Vata is high. But now I know Ayurveda, I'll take warm water and balance it. But if I didn't know, maybe after some time I have a throat pain because of Vata. So this is what Ayurveda guides. But nothing can be like perfect.
The first time I went to Nepal, this is like when I first met you, I realized like how much of an opportunity Ayurveda gives us to practice self-compassion. There was this one woman I was doing like the 500-hour yoga teacher training, and there was this older woman there, and she was farting a lot.
Yes.
And then I remember, I think it was another teacher who said, "Oh yeah, it's normal. Your Vata is just high." So it just gives us this language that it's all normal, like
Yes.
part of being human, that we're getting older and we can't stop the aging process.
Yes.
And then Ayurveda, it seems like it really gives us the language and the tools to just try our best to be kinder to ourselves as well as the world around us.
Yes.
Yes.
True.
So the next question that I have is, how do you think that understanding our unique blueprint or dosha helps us to approach our healing journey? So rather than like, oh, just eat a salad,
Yes.
or which is what I used to do, and I found that I was getting more and more sick.
Yes.
And in the
Your
Western
Vata
world,
will increase. Your
as
Vata
a
is already
Vata,
high. Yes.
Yes.
So see, it's very simple. Like for example, you need to first know about anything that you use. It can be your car, it can be your iPad, microphone. Like for example, car. If you know this is like high-speed car, then you run in a high speed. Like let's say you get the racing car in the road here. It's no use. So first you have to understand know the normal, then you will know the best you, then you will also know what is good for you, what is bad for you. Ayurveda just lets you be aware of what you are already and what are the things that you should do so as to maintain your natural essence. And Ayurveda always says, do not compare with someone or do not use the method that works for someone. Someone says, okay, an apple a day keeps doctor away. Okay. So if everyone started taking apple, let's say a Vata person, before sleeping, take an apple, that person will have bloating. But Pitta person in the middle of the day take apple, that's best. And the same apple, if it is sour in taste, that increase the Pitta as well as Vata. So nothing, like if someone says this is always right, always is always wrong, never is never right. So
Always is always wrong,
yes.
never is never right.
In case of human, like there is nothing like always right for you, there is nothing like always good for someone. Anything that you kind of stereotype like, okay, this is good for everyone, there's nothing like that because everyone is unique. And this is what Ayurveda guides us.
Yeah, I love that. And then, so the next topic is less, I guess, a little more sensitive about developing diseases in the body, particularly breast cancer. There's something that I observe with like close friends, even my family members, like I think maybe 2-3 generations suffered from breast cancer. And I observed that there seems to be some sort of correlation between like the fast lifestyle, not being able to process emotions or storing heartbreak with breast cancer. I'm not sure if this is true, but I would love to hear from your perspective. What does Ayurveda say about breast cancer?
So now this is like from Ayurvedic perspective, to explain any disease is little complicated because you have to understand different level how the disease develops. But in simple terms, there are different types of disease. Ayurveda broadly classifies as easily curable, difficultly curable, manageable, and incurable. And the progression of disease will be there based on how long the dosha has been out of balance. And a disease like cancer, which is mentioned, the symptoms similar to cancer is mentioned as Karkata Arbuda or Karkata Arbuda, to be exactly like malignant cancer. So the idea given in Ayurveda is this is the complicated stage of different dosas. So this develops over the time because of different dosa imbalances. And whenever there is a complicated state, it can be Vata related, it can be Pitta, it can be Kapha. So this is not really easy to say which is what. So usually this is difficult to explain. But one factor is always taken care. In Ayurveda, only the dosha that move is Vata. Because Pitta is water and fire, it cannot move by itself. Earth and water is Kapha, it cannot be moved by itself. So the most important factor is Vata. So most of the time, for the people who's Vata or who's, like busy life, Vata always means wind. Wind means speed. Anything related with speed, anything related with chaos, randomness. So these leads to these complicated disease. And it doesn't happen just today. Like for example, I'm stressed now, I'm running now. No. It's a long way we have to go there, and there are lots of other things. It is related with the Agni, the digestive fire, and many other things. But people who are never stressed usually do not get any of these imbalances because stress is the main factor now for increasing the Vata. So basically, we can say it's Vata related, but there are many other dosas as well.
Loosely. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's really interesting. And then, do you think there's some correlation between like emotions and developing some of these diseases and disorders?
Yeah, that's like very obvious because see, everything is linked to 5 elements. 5 elements is linked to physical body, to the emotional body. So emotion, body, everything, dosa reflects all the layer of the body. The definition of what is life, then it says Sarir, Indriya, Sattva, Atma is life. Life is a combination of physical body, Sarir, Indriya, the senses, Sattva, which is the representation of mind, and Atma, the consciousness. So they all are linked. This is the part of life, and Vata, Pitta, Kapha reflects on all of those things. So yes, it is definitely related. And many people, they have hard time to control the mind. So the means that we use to treat the mind is again the body. So that's why we do all these meditation, food and all. That is actually indirectly for mind as well.
Yeah. This is one of the things I really appreciate about Ayurveda, that we don't isolate things and look
No.
at things like, oh, the leg
It's
has a
one.
problem, so it's just the leg or the mind, but it's one. And I think that's so important for holistic healing,
Yes.
approach to healing. And in terms of hereditary diseases and disorders, does Ayurveda say anything about that? That is
Yes.
it nature or nurture? And even if you have a family history of breast cancer, if you live your life a certain way, does it make a difference?
Yes, the Ayurveda has properly mentioned about that, like what are the factors that you get from mother, Pitri's Bab, Atma's Bab, from self-generated, from the environment, Kala's Bab, from the time generated. So there are different imbalances that we get, that we could possibly get from different factors, from mother, father, climate, time, especially four main factors, and Atma's self. So it is linked.
And then if we live a certain way, like nature, and not nature but nurture, our lifestyle, could it make a
Okay,
difference?
so to explain it more better, I have to explain in a short how the disease progress. Most of the time, disease progress from two ways. One, we need factor which already makes certain part of our body weak. It can be from genetic, it can be like some accidents or something, some part is already weak. It can be in thought, it can be in certain specific skin or joints or anything. The second, only this will not develop the disease. The second is we need to go through the route where our digestive fire gets weak and it does not convert properly the food, and that results in ama. This ama, they also talk as a toxin. Now, this toxin only also does not develop a disease. Now, this toxin has to go all around the body. It doesn't find any spot to basically use because it's semi-digested food particle, and it looks for the weakest spot. Now, if you do not have weakest spot, even you have an ama, you are still healthy. But if there is somehow the weakest spot from the from the genetic or from any other thing, then the disease starts. So there are two
Very
factors. Yes.
interesting.
So ama and the disease, and most 99% of the disease is because of this ama.
Huh.
In fact, only ama doesn't do it, but one of the factors is ama.
And I know, like, from some research, not Ayurveda, but about fasting and how that really does
Yeah.
lower your chances of getting
See,
cancer.
now fasting, how it is linked? Because see, fasting means giving a break to the digestion. Now, if we do not eat anything, why there is ama? The cause of ama is poor digestive fire, and there is a food when digestive fire is weak. But now you cut off the food, then there is fire can kindle, fire can be more bright, and it in fact even burns the other ama. So the best treatment for ama is actually fasting. There
Really?
are other treatments as well. The best treatment for ama is fasting.
And how about for someone like myself or Vata who has a lot of wind? Fasting puts us at an imbalance, right?
Yes, but it's too much of fasting make it imbalance. You have to listen to your body. And also, when we fast in Ayurveda, most people understanding of fasting is like, giving stress to the body by not eating. That's not fasting in Ayurveda. Ayurveda guides us to have certain food, some food that are easily digestible. The concept of fasting is to give relief to the digestive fire. Now, many people say, okay, just taking maybe water is no calorie, but even water has to be digested in Ayurveda. So we need to be having a boiled water, or even to aid, support our digestion, maybe more spices, like we could add some herbs and all to make it more easy to digest, or we could have some simple recipes which are easy for our digestive fire. So this is fasting. And Vata persons should do the fasting eating something.
Like, for example, like a soup.
Yes,
Mung
could be
beans.
mung bean soup. Mung bean is regarded as the most easily digestible. Lagu ahar, which means light ahar. It could be like there are different other ways. Yes, some simple recipe should be used.
Okay, so fasting, what I understand, it doesn't mean don't eat anything at
No,
all.
never.
That's so interesting.
So
It
if
just
you-
means eat something that is easily
That could be also
digestible.
fasting, like don't eat anything, but especially for the Kapha person, we could sometimes suggest that. But even we suggest that, we always ask the person to just listen your body. If there's like hiccups, if there's like urge of certain acid reflux or something, then the moment that happens, we have to stop the fasting. We have to always listen the body. Fasting is not giving more. We already have so much stress. Let's not give more stress not eating.
Yeah, I guess it's about balance, right?
Yes.
Because maybe if you essentially spend days without eating, then that can create yet another
Yes,
imbalance or other
yes.
problems. Yes. Okay, and I'm so curious to know, what does Ayurveda say about mental health? So particularly anxiety, depression, which is so common now.
In Ayurveda, they have categorized disease as like, does it go by one dosha or does it go by multiple dosha? So the disease causing by one dosha, they call it nanatmat vyadi, which basically means one of the category or like whole the category of mental health problem that is diagnosed now by the psychologist or mental health expert. These are categorized under Vata Vyadi, disease of Vata. There are actually 80 of those Vyadis, 80 disease of Vata. If you just search Vata's Vyadi, like you will get 80 number of the Vata. So all these are categorized as Vata. So all these therapy, now why Shirodhara and all these oil treatment are getting popular? Because Shirodhara, all these oil treatments, they balance the Vata. So all these 80 disease, if someone has, even you don't have to even diagnose. You just do the Vata pacifying, then that will pacify all those mental health related issues. Can be anxiety, can be depression. So they are all labeled as Vata disease.
Oh, that's interesting. So would it mean that then someone who is Vata is probably more prone?
Yes. Usually, sadly, oh, by the way, if, again, it's not our option, but let's say if I can choose what would be my nature, I would never choose Vata because that's like least one.
What would you
They are,
choose?
of course, Kapha. Vata are more vulnerable towards the disease, imbalances.
Yeah, so we have to take more care.
Yes,
and
and
more
again, we cannot
precaution.
choose that, but it's just if we could choose, then Vata is like least favorite.
Okay, and so if like actually if in my personal experience, sometimes especially if I travel and move a lot,
Yes.
I can literally feel my mind running at 1,000,000
Yeah.
miles per hour. And then when I do the sesame oil, huge difference already, and it's so simple.
Yes. See, the idea is Vata is wind, wind is dry, wind is cold, wind is quick. Now, sesame oil, oil is opposite of dry already, and then sesame is warming, heating, so it's opposite of cold. And as you apply the sesame oil, you are definitely grounded, you are calm. When there is a tiger or when you are running, of course you cannot do the self-massage. So it already gives the reflection of opposite of all these qualities of Vata. That's why this works like magic. The Ayurvedic principle is simple. Like increase the net result, and like means there's like dry thing, you add dry food, then dryness will increase. There's a dry thing going increase, then you add moist thing, then that will decrease. It's simple, it's math.
It's 1 plus 1
Yeah,
is 2.
it's like 1 plus 1 or 1 minus 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so then disorders like ADHD,
Yes.
which is especially with children now, it's huge. And I think, of course, social media is playing a role in it, and our inability to do one thing at a time. Does Ayurveda say anything about ADHD?
Yeah, like ADHD as how they diagnose versus how Ayurveda understands is slightly different, but you can always link this to the Vata imbalances. Now the children today, they are trained with all these fast moving things on and on. They even did the research, like the cartoon which has less frame per second. When they put, then the children feel bored. They only like fast moving thing. The quality as per Ayurveda, the quality of mind is anutto and ekatto. Mind is supposed to train in such a way, anutto means the dot, the point, and ekatto means one, singularity and the point of that. But since that's a quality of mind, that should be like that. That's why we practice meditation and everything to let the mind know, oh, I am still thinking on single thing. It can be single breath or single picture or single sound or whatever. But on the other hand, our children, we are knowingly or unknowingly training them to do multiple things. So that's why there is the problem. And mind now, it wants to get back to its normal anutto and ekatto. It cannot. And that's why all these issues are there. Focus, calmness. How many children getting bored? This is like really not good to hear. How can children get bored?
Yeah, there's so much to do.
Yes.
And what about ADHD in adults? I know often, maybe medication is prescribed in the Western medicine. Is there like alternative ways to get the attention back?
Whenever symptom gets worse, now see there are many factors like to treat in Ayurveda. It can be the environmental factor, age factor, season factor, food factor. Now, sometime what happens, like for example, right now I'm traveling, I don't have access to everything that I have back home. So let's say I have something here, maybe pain in my, maybe diarrhea, I don't know. Then in this situation, sometime to solve the issues, I need to take help of Western medicine. But let's say there is like proper environment, there's proper food that you can cook, there's a favorable environment. So in this condition, maybe I opt in to use some herbal practice. So the choice of medicine depends upon the situation as well. It's not like, okay, this is better than this or this is better than this. Talking about ADHD, how worse is the symptom, and what is your, again, the goal, or what is your dharma? Dharma means right duties. And can you perform that right duty right now or not? Or if you cannot, then you might need to take help of anything that will help you. But you are performing your right duty and everything is good, the symptom is not worse, then you can always minimize that symptom through other Ayurvedic techniques of herbs and lifestyle.
So, for example, if someone's dosha is Kapha and they manifest a mental disorder or disease, then of course this is because of Vata. So how do you
look after that? Okay,
how do you balance that?
See, this is like, anyone, Prakriti, that's not in our control, different person has different body type. But imbalances, anyone can get any imbalance based on what they do or what they take. A Kapha person having a Vata imbalance is also, there are chances it can happen. Like Kapha person indulges lots of physical dry foods and all. So generally, whenever there is a balance and imbalance, Ayurveda always says first treat imbalance. So let's say for Kapha person, I would advise to wake up early, skip the breakfast. But a Kapha person came to me who has a Vata imbalance. Then my advice would be again the similar advice like for Vata. Okay, so because the imbalance count first, then the balance.
Then the balance, okay. And so this is again another topic, yin and yang, the feminine and masculine principles. What does Ayurveda say about these principles? And I'm asking this question because like for me, I was raised in America. Even though I'm Haitian, I was born in the Caribbean, and I noticed that in my country there's more like space for the feminine energy to be expressed. And when I was in the US, I felt like I always had to be very different, like going, doing, performing, numbers like driven, result driven, more yang. So I'm curious to know, like, what does Ayurveda say about feminine and masculine energy, and if they're out of balance, how does it impact our well-being?
It's all about how you explain exactly yin and yang or masculine and feminine. Now in yoga there's Ida and Pingala, but original texts of Ayurveda, by that I mean all those texts like Charak Samhita, Strusut and Ashtanga Hridaya, these texts has never mentioned any term like this. But although they have not explained, but we can always link it. It's like the doctors, or it's like reader's perspective. Like this is my perspective I'm sharing. So this is not exactly what in the ancient text it is given. So Ida and Pingala, masculine and feminine. Like if you compare with traditional Chinese medicine, they say yin, yang, and qi. Qi is like a balance. So here also Vata is the strongest one, so you can always link to Qi. Now comes Yin and Yang. One is like Pitta, which is like movement, activity. So this is like Yang. And Kapha is like Yin. So there's Yin and Yang. Can we compare like Kapha and Pitta? You can link that. But is it really given? No, it is not given. The concept works differently. But still we can link at that. And today's world, like I've also said earlier, the Vata, they have 80 diseases, Pitta 40 diseases, Kapha 20 diseases. And most people, because of the fast pace of the world, stress and all, most people are already into the Vata. Even when they do all these activities like gym, most of the guests when I meet from Europe or state, their muscle is super tight and stiff. Aesthetically, maybe it looks great, but they cannot even scratch their back, like flexibility gone down, strength goes up. So that means they already have done lots of Vata activities or yang activity. So in this context, there is also yin yoga. That's the reason why yin yoga, many people like it, especially whose muscle is already tight. They want more flexibility. They want to go more with like yin tissue, like fascias and joints and all. Here also, it's not just in the physical level. Emotionally also, we are already yang, already Vata. So doing this calmer or yin or feminine energy, we do need actually at this stage. Or we can also link this with the sympathetic and parasympathetic. We are already sympathetic, like tiger, fight, flight. That rest and digest is the yin perspective or kapha perspective or balancing the Vata, whatever we call it. So we can link like that, but it's not exactly given.
Okay, I actually didn't know that it was not written in the text at all.
No, it's not exactly given like this. Ida Pingala concept is in the yogic text, but not in Ayurveda text.
Okay, all right. And if someone is stuck in survival mode, this is very, very common now.
Yes.
This is probably Vata, like you said,
Yes.
the yang.
Like sympathetic nerve activation.
What are some simple things they can do every day?
Like the last time when we did the yoga teachers training, RYT syllabus has not added this part. Now they have added. It's called vagal nerve activation.
Oh,
this
wonderful.
is really, really nice. Like it's a 10th cranial nerve that arises from the brain. And these nerve, the beauty, like there are like 12 pair of nerve, but this vagus nerve, it is so interesting. Like the root, whenever this activates, almost 99% of parasympathetic things gets activated. So activating vagus nerve is equal to activating like calmness or parasympathetic. And interestingly, the yoga that we always do, in Ayurveda, the massage and all, this actually indirectly we are activating the vagal nerve. So it's also easier, like you can see for your viewers, like the anatomy of vagus nerve. It comes from the brain and some branches are into the ears. So doing the ear massage and then it penetrates to the vocal cord. So chanting like Om, Lam, Ram. And many people, they don't like to do the yoga like neck movement.
The
Who
subtle
does that?
yoga.
Yes, but like Pawan Muktasan series 1, the neck movement this activates. And then it penetrates the diaphragm. So like Kapalbhati or breathing or stomach breathing or the belly breathing practices. And then all those twisting asanas because this supplies to the intestines and taking a cold shower. So these are common practices to activate vagal nerve and actually doing yoga in one word.
Essentially, that's what I'm hearing you say.
Doing yoga, but with meditation, with the breathing practice, and with the asana, this helps to activate the parasympathetic. But from Ayurvedic perspective, let's say, the best thing is like, whenever we are happy, we smile. But when we forcefully smile, that in turn gives us happiness. So here also mimic as if there is no tiger. Tiger is not there. Still, our mind has a tiger, something maybe job, relationship, love. But let's just take a little bit of oil and gently apply in your body. Now, who would put the oil when there is a real tiger? So this is like indirectly saying to yourself, there's no tiger, there's nothing to fear. So some simple gesture like self-care, self-love. Eating also, not eating, not throwing something into the mouth. See the food, smell the food, touch the food, taste the food, as you chew, listen to the sound. So these things can really, really switch into rest and digest and really switch into parasympathetic, yin, whatever we call it, calmness.
That's wonderful and really, really helpful. So my background, I'm Haitian, like I mentioned before, so my ancestry is African. So I understand 80% of African American people are lactose intolerant. And I thought this was so interesting to discover. And I know in Ayurveda, some of the treatments include milk. So how do we balance and understand this?
Now, when Agni gets poor or when food that we take is very, very heavy, in these two factors, Agni or the digestive fire, Agni means digestive fire, cannot digest properly. Lactose intolerant, actually because of the dairy industry, the cows are not happy most of the time in West. The real milk, as per explained in Ayurveda, is the cow should feed into the forest, should be happy, should choose the grass. Now you don't get milk like that. So these days when I consult, I always say don't take milk, because even you get the milk, even you say organic milk, as per Ayurveda, that's not milk. That's something else. That's something. Okay. So so that's one part. So now whenever we do Ayurvedic treatment, yes, milk is one part, especially ghee. Like ghee, usually from milk to ghee, there's a process, and ghee is relatively easy to digest than the milk. So someone who is lactose intolerant can also take the ghee. The second thing is like in the place where you did the training, there was other student who came and she said, I'm lactose intolerant, diagnosed like 10 years back. And then I said, but she need milk for her sleep. Like there was one medicine I need to give her with milk. And then I checked her pulse and everything. I find her Agni is really good. And then, okay, you can drink milk, but the milk, let me process it. And I added some spices to that to make it more easy to digest. And she drank, and then next day she actually came, and then nothing happened to me, and she was crying like I was diagnosed lactose intolerant, like and nothing happened to me. Like every time, the moment I take in the middle of the night, I have to go washroom, blah blah. Nothing happened. Oh, they diagnosed it wrong. So sometimes this can also happen. The life we say I'm lactose intolerant, but it might be related with digestive fire. So if we make digestive fire strong or milk easy to digest, either ways we can solve this issue.
That's true, and also getting good quality milk, which I think is hard here in Bali, to be honest.
Yes, Bali. Last time when we were doing the retreat in Bali, I want to make the yogurt out of the milk. We brought the milk, but none of the milk convert into the yogurt. It's not milk. I really had a hard time. And again, because of custom, I cannot bring it, but I really missed that part.
And so the next question is, I think we have just a few more questions, is for women's health. A common disorder that's coming up now is PCOS, ovarian cysts.
Yes, a lot.
Women having
Fibroids.
fibroids, issues with reproductive system. Why do you think this is so prevalent now, and what does Ayurveda say about it, and what can we do?
Like dinacharya, daily routine, seasonal. There's also woman's seasonal cycle, and at certain point, like there was the provision of having rest for 4 days and something, but physical and emotional both rest should be there in certain days where there is a period, where there is a flow, the downward movement of the apana vayu. But one of the reason is most of the time, the female at the time of menstruation, when they force themselves, even at that time, and they put lots of strength, and when the apana vayu has a lower movement, but you are thinking too much, you are pushing the energy to think like up. So this is like, again, it is not exactly written in the Ayurvedic text, but this is my observation. Moment someone has that, I always ask their history, their occupation and all. So I link somehow like very competitive nature, you push yourself, like you do not rest ever. Most of the female who has the lifestyle like that, they have this issue. So it's somewhere related to balancing the energy again.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear. Like, actually, many of my friends have developed cysts, PCOS, and I really appreciated the part that you said about when we have our cycle.
Yes.
That is only 4 days, 3 days. It's so in 1 month. It's okay that we don't go to the gym and push ours.
Exactly. Don't do Ashtanga, don't do gym. But people, they just push like something. Even like, the best car in the world has to have a pause sometime. If not, it's like the engine gets, so you have to listen to your body.
Yeah, it's true. And even in myself, like right now, for sure my Vata is high because I've been traveling and moving. And when I get my cycle, I force myself, like, don't just rest.
That's a good practice.
But still mentally, I can see my mind feeling guilty.
Actually, mental is more stronger than the physical.
Really?
So you also really need to maybe breathing practice or something so that you calm your mind and don't push yourself.
Yeah, this is something that I've learned in like the past few years after moving to Bali, to just, it's okay to do nothing, because that's doing something too. It's giving the body like time and space to rest, to recover and rejuvenate itself. You had a consultation with my husband. I overheard you speaking about Thich Nhat Hanh.
Thich Nhat Hanh, yes.
So this is someone who's inspiration for you?
Yes, actually, this was 2017. I was in Bangkok and I saw in a bookstore Thich Nhat Hanh, Mindful Practice. I forgot the name of the book. Because I have many books now, I forgot which exactly, but almost, it's like, let me just grab it and just read it. Oh no, actually, someone gifted me the book. Now I remember because I did multiple things, and then I was reading that book, and then it talks about this mindful practice. Exactly what I said earlier. Actually, it's from Thich Nhat Hanh. See, smell, touch, like 5 senses. That really worked for me. That really, really worked for me. And after coming that, there was like ups and down in life. So actually, after coming from the Bangkok, my father had an accident, and then I was quite away, super stressed, of course. And then they said in ER, and when you know more, you stress more. And ER, they say like he's unconscious, blah blah blah, and it was more serious. And I have to drive. So, and at that time, I just completed reading that book, and I used this mindful practice as I come. It was very easy for me. I mean, whatever happens, happens, but what should I do? My duty, my right duty. It indirectly remind me. If someone has said, I would never listen in that. I mean, I would punch that person if someone just give me, like cold. I was stressed. But it reflected me so well. So that really worked for me. And since then, I myself is Vata. The way I talk, also, you already figured it out. Everyone knows I'm Vata. And with the Vata, again, it's the least one I wish I would have. But I could easily get Vata imbalances when I travel, and you don't get a proper food sometime or something. So the Thich Nhat Hanh's mindful practice really helped me a way to control my Vata. So yeah, I suggest sometime when someone
I can relate
has
too,
a yes.
because as Vata, I actually used to watch so many of his videos. Even
Very
his calm nature,
yes.
right?
Even the sound is already like Vata soothing. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there was like, let's say you could give everyone just 3 simple pieces of advice that they can use to cultivate well-being for themselves, what would you say?
In 3, maybe 3,000. Because see, life is a constant journey. Now they always say law of karma. You do something good, good comes to you. You do something bad, bad comes to you. That's true. But in life, you don't do anything, then already you are bad. So you have to continuously do something. So before sleeping, one advice I would always give, what have you done really for yourself? Not for your work, not for the office, nothing. What have you really done for yourself, so that you give the information to the body you really care. So this is like coming back home. If only this question you ask and then sleep, and if there is no answer, then do something. Right away, just inhale and exhale, or just to self-care, just thank you and then sleep. Without confirming that you have done something to yourself, like never sleep. If we do that, I think everyone would be
really
healthy
beautiful.
always. Yes. Just reflect yourself. What have you done yourself? Okay, I've done many things today, but what have you done for yourself that you can peacefully sleep? Just ask this question.
That's very beautiful. I was watching the Dalai Lama. He was in South Africa at this time a few years ago, and of course, compassion is
Yes.
very important. And someone asked him, like, is it possible to practice compassion
Yes.
without self-compassion? He said, it's impossible. Just forget it. You really have
Who
to give it.
doesn't know how to love themselves, how to have compassion? And this is not possible, yes.
Yeah, you can't pour
Yes.
from an empty
Yes.
cup, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I forgot to ask this. Find your dosha. I know that you can take quiz
Yes.
online, but sometimes those could be a little bit inaccurate.
There are different methods, yes. These are all the theorem. It's not theory. Theory means like you can have a wrong theory as well. Until it is proven, it's theory. It's you don't know. But theorem means something that you logically go there. Like someone says Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse E square is equal to always P square plus B square, or something like this. This formula, geometry, all these are the theorem. These are generated from some ideas. Ayurveda is something like that. It's a theorem, it's idea, it's a technique, and everything has logic. So therefore, it's never like out of logic. Now, talking about the treatment, about the diagnosis, of course, there was no blood test, MRI, nothing. So they have this way of finding using different techniques. There are like Dasbid, 10 different ways of finding the dosha, or Ashtabid, 8 different ways, or 6 different ways. But in general, to understand, there's like 3 main ways. Darshan, Sparsan, Prasna. By seeing, Sparsa by touching, and Prasna by questions. So we do the question when we cannot physically touch, but if we can do touch, so we always do question and of course inspection and also the pulse. This is how we do the test.
Okay, wonderful. So I will link down in the description below if you would like to book an appointment with Dr. Roshan. Actually, so many of our friends have been booking with him, and it has made such a big difference. Even if it's on Zoom, essentially you would send a picture of your tongue and your nails and get just like a personalized approach and something practical that you can use in order to support your well-being. And if you have any questions, just drop them down in the comment section below and I'll be answering them for you and even sending them to Dr. Roshan so that he can answer them for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Roshan.
Namaste.